All right. Hello, everyone. My name is David Shmula, the founder of Outbound Partners. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to build a lookalike audience using my favorite tool, PandaMatch.io, and my other favorite tool, Play.com. And this is a really important duo because one without the other is like is like a cart without a horse. One without the other is like a cart without a horse, okay? You heard it here first. So let's dive in. But why should you trust me in explaining this type of stuff to you? In the last 12 months, we drove over 100 million in revenue to our clients, and we do that using technologies and systems and and strategies that I'm going to show you here today. So everything that I'm showing you here today is stuff that I do personally, our team does personally, and we find this stuff to be most effective, which is why I want to share it with you. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you will know how to use PandaMatch, and you'll know which is the best lookalike audience builder, and you'll know how to verify the results that you get from PandaMatch Play. And I'm going to show you a really, really comprehensive prompt, and probably a prompt that you like never really even thought to prompt in this manner before. So I think you'll just find a lot of value in that prompt. And like I said, like definitely, like if anything, skip to that part of the video, but definitely, stay tuned for that part of the video because I'm going to show you how to verify the results that we get from PandaMatch in Clay, and this is like really, really, really essential to keeping your targeting on point. And I'll go more on that in a moment. But look, at the end of the day, we're going to cover two things here. The first thing is we're going to cover how to use PandaMatch, and the second thing is we're going to cover how to verify Clay. Okay, so let's dive in. This is PandaMatch. PandaMatch is a lookalike builder, and it's very unique. I mean, I don't want to. This video isn't really about promoting PandaMatch, but to give you like a 80-20 of it, PandaMatch takes every single website on the internet for the most part, not every, but virtually every single one, and they're indexing it. So they have data on every single website. They know the content that's on it, the meta tags, and everything. And like I said, then they index it in a database, and they do a whole bunch of smart stuff to essentially make sense of all of these different sites. And what's unique about this is that it's finding sites based on the site's content, not the site's keywords. Because a lot of times people misclassify their websites using keywords that are, kind of irrelevant, or, stuff that they kind of want to be doing, but they're not actually doing. So if you probably have experienced this before, and anyone who's, sourcing data has experienced this, but if you haven't, then I'll just kind of explain it too. If you go to like an Apollo, or if you go to a Zoom Info, or if you even if you're doing it on like LinkedIn Sales Navigator and you're using keywords to build a list, you get a lot of like nonsense. Like you definitely get a lot of good stuff, but there's also a lot of nonsense that has like nothing. Let's say if you're looking for, restaurants, which I'm going to show you in this example today, you might get like restaurant headhunters, restaurant marketing companies, or like restaurant vendors who are classifying themselves as restaurants, even though if anyone took like 5 seconds to go to their website, they'd realize right away that that's actually not a good fit. So that's the type of stuff that you get when you do like a blanket export. So PandaMatch is really, really, really good at not doing that, but it's not 100%. But it's as close as I found it from a data provider perspective. It's as close as I found it to be to date, at least. So what I'm going to show you is how to get it to 100%. Well, what in life is 100%? We're going to get it closer, and that's all that really matters. So this is the website, whatever. Go check it out. This page. And go in. Okay, so here, this is what the dashboard of PandaMatch looks like. I would rate it on the quality of its results, and and it's a pretty beautiful. It's a very nice interface, but it's the results I've used a bunch of other lookalike tools, and I'm telling you by far this is the best. Ocean.io is also a very good tool, but I've gotten better results with this one. Okay, so the way this works is you put in one to a handful of different domains here. This will tell you can put up to 10 domains. And essentially what this is going to do is it's going to go to these domains. It's going to find it in its, library and understand what's on these websites, look at the commonality, and then go and build you a lookalike audience based on the commonalities of these sites. Now, if you spoke to Vishesh or Aviv or the founders of PandaMatch, they may be like, it's a little bit more involved in that. But like at a high level, that's what it's doing. We're going to put these reference domains in, and then we're going to put some keywords, and there's some other search criteria that you can use, and there's negative search, which I'll go into in a moment. But essentially, you're putting these things in, and then it's going to build you a lookalike audience based on that. And then when you put a bunch of stuff in together, it's going to find the commonalities and do that. Okay, then it has like a similarity score, and the more similar it is, the better of a fit it thinks it is. Like I said, you could add some additional keywords. Exact search will make sure that it finds the exact keyword or exact phrase on the site. Here you can type in a description using a natural language. So there's some really cool features here. But this is I probably already spent enough time talking about PandaMatch. But that's the key. Okay, so the key takeaway here is, why is this important? This is important because instead of just building a list from like Apollo or some other data provider that is using self-classified keywords and things like that in order to and then as a result you get a bunch of nonsense. This is actually taking website scrapes and codifying all that data that it's scraping manually on a routine basis, and then finding stuff that matches. So I don't know if that makes sense, but if it does, God bless. If it doesn't, take my word for from it or for it, or pause the video and go do something. Anyways, so now what do I do? So what I did here, yeah. So what I'm trying to do is, by the way, I'm trying to find. There's something that these have in common. So they're restaurants that are sub 1,000. What I'm looking for are chain restaurants, chain family style restaurants that have less than 1,000 locations throughout the U.S. All of these have that criteria. So now we got to get this into Clay, and it's so easy. Even if it wasn't this easy, it'd still be easy enough because you just download a CSV and then import it into Clay. But nonetheless, it's even easier than that. By you can click Send to Clay, and it triggers a webhook, and ultimately you'll get something that looks like this. And here is a webhook. So everything here is coming in. Actually, just private information. But everything from that list is getting filtered or is getting published into here, and that's how you get the information into Clay. So now, if you are unfamiliar with Clay, you should just go and learn about it. It's a great program. But if you are familiar with Clay, then I'm just going to assume that you're familiar with Clay, because I don't think you'd find this video if you're familiar with Clay. Anyway, moving on. So, like I said, so here we have the information comes in via webhook, and now it's self-populating into here, and this is just standard information. Here, this is really nothing fancy, but we're just normalizing the domain so that it's clean and makes it easier for us to do some other research. And here, what we're going to do is we're actually going to build a super comprehensive profile of this company. Because, and if just to keep everyone on the same page, going back to the beginning of the video, like first we're finding the lookalike audience, and now in Clay, the goal, the whole intent and purpose of this part of the video is to show you how to verify that the company that we're looking at matches the ideal customer profile of ourselves or our clients or whatever customer profile that we're basing this whole ICP match. So I hope that makes sense. So now, before we can actually see if this company right here, like Longhorn Steakhouse, is a good fit for our in our case, one of our clients, we need to build a customer profile of Longhorn Steakhouse. So the way we're going to do that is simply by having Clayagent do some research and build out this profile. So give you a quick example of what like this prompt kind of look like. But here we're using OpenAI and 4.0 Mini. We give it the domain, give it a little bit of context, your research agent, blah, 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 blah. And then we're just having a whole bunch of just standard research process. So we're verifying domain authenticity. We have it collecting some mandatory data points, like legal name, headquarters location, years founded, company type, industry classification. In our case, we're not using all these data points to actually form the ICP match, but we use this prompt often, and this is just part of the data that we collect, just regularly as a baseline. So whatever, we collect a whole bunch of different data points, and then we have this verification requirement. So every piece of information must be cross-referenced from at least 2 reliable sources. We give some examples of some sources, examples of unacceptable sources, and then we have a confidence scoring component where it scores it from whether it's verified, meaning it's been verified with multiple sources, or if it's just likely from a single source verification, and unverified, meaning that it tried to find it. And then we're doing an export in a JSON format just to keep everything tidy. And that's pretty much it. And then we have a little bit, some critical requirements, like just some additional stuff to make sure that we're getting like the highest possible, like just the best possible results from this thing. So that's how we're building the customer profile. Now, the next step is to actually see, does that customer profile match the ideal customer profile of the prospect? So what we have here is, well, this is just an export of that. And then what we have here is another agent, also using OpenAI and 4.0 Mini. And here we just have a whole bunch of just ICP type data. So context, you're an ICP validation agent for a US-based manufacturer of hospitality furnishings and case goods. This is, it's more in concept because you're probably not going to be building that exactly. So then we said, all right, like these are the evaluation criteria that we want to validate to see if it's a good match. So whether it's in the right industry, whether it's in the right segment, whether it's in the right location, whether it's of the right size. As I mentioned earlier, we're excluding chains with over 1,000 locations, excluding certain brands. Must verify that it's that actual businesses and operations, and so on and so forth. And then we give some examples of, for the match score, examples for the confidence level. And then this is actually very key here, because it's one thing to tell the AI agent to, find the perfect fit and just expect it to find the perfect fit. And, Jordan Crawford, actually talks about this a lot, and he's 1,000% right. But if you don't know what the perfect fit is, there are times that, I maybe cut this part out of the video, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. If you don't know what the perfect fit is, the AI agent isn't going to know what the perfect fit is. Yes, in theory, it is possible that it may know it better than you, but I think just as like a blanket rule of thumb, like if you don't know it, then don't expect an AI bot to know what is right here. And if you leave it up to its own demise, you're just not going to get good results. And I'll go into why these results are, like, if you, digressing, but if you fix your targeting where every single person is actually, like, truly a perfect fit for your product or service, you're going to double, if not triple, your result. It's that simple. Like if 50% of your list is just unqualified or not relevant, and then you do better targeting, and now 100% of your list is qualified and relevant, you're gonna get double the results. That's just how it works. It's just math. So this is important stuff. Very important stuff, friends. Now, what I was saying is that yes, what I'm saying is you have to know what is like what criteria would qualify someone to get the best results here. So as you saw above, we did that by providing some base level criteria, which are all the criteria for us and this project. What we've also done to make sure that we're getting accurate outputs is by giving examples of what good and bad looks like. So we show what good and bad looks like, and yeah, and that's pretty much everything. So that's all. That's all. The idea is you do whatever you want, but what we do is we build the ICP, build the ideal customer profile, get very specific about what those criteria are, and then we inside of the agent we indicate whether it is like what good looks like, what like okay looks like, and what bad looks like. And that's how we do it. So now, what do we get here? We get this one is false. Well, let's see why it's this is false. By the way, I mean this is basically free. This costs this is such a small number. I don't even know what it is. That's so this is part of an excluded large change restaurant category. Okay. Well, let's start in restaurants. Let's verify this. How many restaurants in Garden restaurant? Okay, Darden Restaurants. We own more than 2,100 restaurants and are very proud of the 195,000. So this isn't a good fit. All right. Now coming back here, we're not going to go validate all these, but we'll just kind of take it at face value here. So now we have a true or false, and it has the match rate and has some explanation and things like that. But something I really want to show you, which is very important, is let's just scroll through this list here. So we started this list with there's 100 rows. Yeah, there's 100 rows. Let's filter equal to. So 64 so essentially 64% was true, and whatever it is, 36% was false. And that's the reality. So if you have now this is like a compounded issue for someone who's doing outreach, because one, you're wasting resources, you're wasting sending power, you're wasting calling power, you're wasting data, and all those things. That's like one, you're just getting efficiency in every part of your operation just by having better targeting. The second aspect of this is that in a time where deliverability is very nuanced, you really want to make a monumental effort to get the targeting right, because stuff that is unrelevant is going to get flagged as spam, and then you're just going to burn through mailboxes and domains way quicker. So then you have additional costs in just the pure replacement cost, and then not only just the replacement cost, but also like the labor cost to execute that replacement. You also have the lost data that you use sending from mailboxes, burnt, whatever. It just keeps going over and over and over again. Anyways, so my friends, that is all for today. In summary, what we covered here was we learned how to use PandaMatch, which is, in my opinion, as of November 12th, is the best lookalike audience builder out there. And we learned how to do that. we kind of learned how to export that via webhook into Clay. Pretty easy. We touched upon it. I don't want to say we learned about it. Be taking too much credit. We touched upon it, but you can figure that part out. It's very easy. And then the biggest thing is we learned how to in Clay validate and ensure that these prospective companies are actually a good fit for us, for our clients. Anyways, that's all. If you liked this video, I would really appreciate it if you took a moment, tried, maybe give it a little like, share it with your friends, or at minimum, send me a comment. Let me know, what do you guys do? Before this video, what were you doing to ensure you're reaching out to the right people? PandaMatch does it really, really good. Let me tell you something real quick before you go. If I brought in a list from Apollo here, you would be floored to see how many falses we would have. I mean, floored completely. So, with that being said, using this system, the output is extremely targeted list. And like I said, just by improving your list quality, you're going to dramatically improve your results. So I would love to hear from you. Send me a comment. One, if you have any questions, I'm happy to help in any way I possibly can. Or two, I would love to know what you guys do in order to ensure that your lists are extremely well segmented, well targeted. All right. On that note, cheers and see you soon.